Hello everybody, welcome back. I want to continue our conversation on the basic parts of speech for grammar. All right, so what I have here are verb-related parts of speech. The last video that I made dealt with briefly noun-related parts of speech. I might, if we see that we need it, I might deal with some parts of speech a little more specifically, like if you want me to spend some more time on prepositions or pronoun antecedent agreement or something like that, I am more than happy to make a video like that. It's just, by popular demand, I guess. All right, let's do a real quick review of verb-related parts of speech. All right, of course, there are verbs. Okay, now, what are verbs? All right, well, most people will say there was a cartoon back in the day when we used to have to sit down and watch cartoons at a specific time, like Saturday morning or whatever, or then maybe even later on when it was just Nickelodeon, before we could just pull up anything on the internet at any time and watch any cartoon ever. There was a campaign to get kids outdoors and moving around. And it's funny that they would make this advertising on cartoons and say, hey, kids, you're sitting on your butts doing nothing, watching cartoons. Why don't you get up and do something? All right. And it was the campaign tagline. It was all about verbs. It was verbs. It's what you do. All right. Because verbs are almost always associated with action. All right, if you're involved in an action period, then you are doing a verb. All right, that's the whole idea. Running, jumping, skipping, playing, singing, throwing, whatever. Okay, those are activities, so those are verbs. All right, so yes, action, sure. Now, there is another way that verbs are used. They're not just actions, all right? There are what we call to-be verbs, or in a lot of cases, linking verbs, all right? Don't know why I dotted those as if they're lowercase. Anyway, who cares? Linking verbs. Those are verbs like am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, has, have, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, could, all those kinds of things, all right? If I say I am hungry, what would be the verb in that sentence? What is the action? Well, there's not really an action at all. I am. I exist as a hungry person. All right, and it is almost noon, and after I make this video, I am reheating some leftovers and eating them. So this is a true statement. But there's no action. I exist. I am. All right. She is a fast runner, whatever. All right? We do have this run, which suggests an action, but this is a fast runner. Runner is a noun here. So the action is suggested with a noun, not with a verb. This is the verb. She exists on planet Earth as a fast runner. All right? So, verbs aren't always action-based. Now, we have action, we have to be, linking, because these are the only verbs. But have you ever done something like this? He is sleeping in class. All right? He is sleeping in class. All right? So what is the verb in this case? Most people would just say sleeping. Sleeping is the verb. But there is a helping verb as well, is sleeping. Both of these together are what make up the verb. If someone were to say, they are heading to the movies. Are heading, both of those. Helping verb and action verb. When it's on its own, like, are, is, was, were, any of those kinds of things, then they on their own are considered or referred to as linking verbs. When they are doubled up with an action verb, they are called helping verbs. All right? So I just want to delineate all of these. All right? So we have two, let me make it this way. An easy way for you to see it. We got action, to be, and helping. All right? Henry goes to the store. All right? Goes is an action. He actually moves and goes and does something. All right? Here, Henry is tired. Okay? So goes is the verb here. Or we could even make this better. He runs, let's do that. He runs to the store. That makes it even more of a visual of activity rather than just goes, okay? Henry runs to the store. Henry is tired. And then we can say Henry is running home. All right? Is running. All right? So this is the action verb. Henry runs to the store. To be or linking verb, Henry is tired. Helping verb, Henry is running home. All right? So that's kind of how verbs will sort of break themselves down as far as those things go. All right? So there is a little more to verbs than I think people consider often. All right? So, again, as my Italian teacher used to ask, can I cancel these? All right. So there you have it. Verbs don't just do one thing of action. They do several other, they provide several other services as far as a sentence goes. I was going to add adverbs here, but really what I want to do instead of putting adverbs on top of this is to make a section of descriptive parts of speech or modifier parts of speech. And in that way, I'll put both adjectives and adverbs together. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know about verbs. And there'll be more to come. So till then, see you later.